This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 6th day of April in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here is what we're tracking tonight. With the Court of Appeal clearing the way for the Guyana Elections Commission to move ahead with its recount of the votes, the Commission met today and started to look at the modalities that will have to be put in place to facilitate the start of that recount. The Commission has now tasked the Chief Elections Officer with putting together a draft document that will guide the recount process, and he's expected to have that document completed and handed over to the Commission for its discussion at its next meeting on Wednesday. Commissioner Vincent Alexander explained that the recount process will mirror the process for the initial count of the ballots.
A recount always requires going to the ballot boxes. What I said in the last occasion, what has not changed, is that along with the recount of the ballots, we will be doing the normal things done at a polling station when you're counting. So all of the issues of reject ballots, of proxies, of stamps not being put on the ballot papers, all of those things will come up for review.
On the issue of the involvement of returning officers for the recount, Mr. Alexander noted that the Chief Elections Officer has the leverage to decide on the inclusion of staff for that recount. He also noted that GCOM is still interested in CARICOM's involvement.
We have not specified that our roles are the ones who will be the staff. I think the CEO has some leverage to determine which staff will be involved in the exercise. So it is neither an inclusion necessarily nor an exclusion necessarily of our roles. Thank you. And the idea is to see if we can still get CARICOM involvement, not as supervising, but as a presence that can give some credibility and validation to what GCOM does.
And Commissioner Says Gunraj said the court has recognized the constitutional powers of the Guyana Elections Commission to determine the methodology to guide the recount.
As the court, as late as yesterday, reiterated, the plenitude of powers that resides within the Guyana Elections Commission, from which is derived from specific articles of the Constitution, gives us the power to determine our methodology and to take such steps as are necessary. Specifically, Section 22 of the Representation of the People's Act allows us the liberty of determining that mechanism and those modalities.
In a ruling yesterday, the Court of Appeal made it clear that while there is nothing stopping the recount, the Elections Commission should not shirk its responsibility over to any outside agency. President David Granger, along with the opposition leader and the CARICOM Secretary General, had reached an agreement about CARICOM's involvement in the recount process. That involvement came to an end when the matter ended up in the local courts. More news coming up in a moment.
Parents and guardians, you are encouraged to tune in to the Guyana Learning Channel, Cable 29 or Channel 42 for daily educational and interactive learning sessions. The nursery program airs from 6 hours to 9 hours. Primary programs from 9 hours to 12 noon. We also air informative documentaries from 12 noon to 13 hours, and our secondary level programs are aired from 13 hours to 15 hours. Please continue to listen to our radio broadcasts. The interactive radio instruction for grades 1 to 3 daily on Voice of Guyana from 9 hours 30 to 10 hours for grade 1 pupils, from 10 hours 30 to 11 hours for grade 2s, and 13 hours to 13 hours 30 for grade 3 pupils. Please remember to tune in to benefit from these educational opportunities. A message from the Ministry of Education.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Guyald's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyald's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Tired of long lines? Register with MyGTT at mygtt.co.gy. That's mygtt.co.gy to view and pay your bills from anywhere. Enter to win an Amazon gift card worth $25 or a bounty voucher worth 5,000 Guyana dollars when you sign up today. GTT, do more.
Hi Guyana, it's your boy Kimo Paul here. Reminding you to stay at least 1 meter away from persons or 3 feet to avoid contracting the flu or the COVID-19. It is also important that we stay at home and to avoid gatherings of more than 5 persons. We must all play our part, so let's protect ourselves and our families from COVID-19. We must all play our part. The Ministry of Public Health cannot do this alone. So let's all come together and fight this virus.
For further information, check our website www.health.gov.gy or visit the ministry's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter page.
Welcome back. There are now 8 persons being housed in the coronavirus intensive care unit, and one of those persons is in a critical condition tonight. The development was announced today by Minister of Public Health Vola Lawrence. It was also announced that the number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Guyana now stands at 31, moving up by 2 within the past 24 hours.
The number of persons hospitalized in our COVID-19 ICU is 8, one of whom is critical. As of yesterday, calls to the COVID-19 hotline totaled 1,495. These include calls from regions 3, 4, and 10.
It was also announced that 115 persons have so far been tested in Guyana for the coronavirus. The increase in the number of positive cases would mean that within the past week, Guyana has seen 23 new cases of the coronavirus being confirmed.
The total number of persons who have been tested for the period February 26 through April 6, 2020 is 115, of which 31 are positives, inclusive of 4 deaths, with 84 negatives, and the one inconclusive case proved negative after 14 days of isolation.
But there is some good news. It was also revealed that 3 family members of Guyana's first case, who were tested positive initially, have now tested negative following isolation. 2 sets of tests were conducted on them. 8 persons who were also linked to the first patient have also recovered after isolation, the minister announced. Guyana's first case of the coronavirus was recorded on the 11th of March. The government on Friday announced a nationwide curfew in an effort to stem the spread of the coronavirus in Guyana. While Guyana entered a months-long 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew on Friday with other measures aimed at reducing social gatherings as part of the efforts to fight the coronavirus. While many businesses made a decision to close up operations on their own, others have now been forced to follow the curfew order. Under the order, banks, markets, supermarkets, fruits and vegetable stalls, and neighborhood shops, along with food services and restaurants for delivery, drive-through and takeaway services and gas stations, are the only businesses allowed to open during the 1-month measure, along with essential services, which cover the utility companies, healthcare companies, including pharmacies and food manufacturers, along with security companies. Still, as the measure took full effect on Saturday, a number of bars and drinking spots were opened and carried out their businesses as usual up until the curfew began at 6 p.m. During an online media conference on Saturday, the head of the National Task Force on COVID-19, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, said part of the enforcement of the curfew could see those businesses that flout the measures facing a revocation of their license.
So businesses that are violating the curfew, they have to, part of the enforcement would be the question of revocation of the license for cause. It is a cause, it is for cause. You have violated the order made, authorized under the hand of the president, and in this emergency situation and place persons at risk. The proprietors as well as the patrons of particular watering hole or hotspot, or what we may call it.
The Prime Minister said bars and other entertainment hotspots that violate the curfew measures should not feel that they will not be visited by sanctions. For those businesses that are allowed to operate within specific hours, the Prime Minister said he hopes those businesses will pay attention to the other measures that accompany the ones allowing them to operate. Let's tell you now that the Georgetown City Council has announced that municipal markets will be allowed to operate between the hours of 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. daily, in keeping with measures implemented by the government to fight the coronavirus. Over the weekend, the markets were closed to facilitate further sanitizing by the Georgetown City Council. Initially, the City Council had announced measures of its own to fight the coronavirus, but the government has since implemented national measures. In a statement today, the City Mayor Ubraj Narain reminded city vendors of the precautions they should be taking to combat the spread of the coronavirus.
Produce must be stored 6 inches above the ground. Regularly sanitize commonly touched surface with bleach water solution. Wearing a face mask is mandatory to maintain your safety and that of patrons. Cough and sneeze into the crook of your elbow if you do not have a tissue. Stay home if you are ill and contact COVID-19 hotline. Avoid close contact with people who have flu-like symptoms. Ensure that the social and physical distancing is practiced at your stall caravans and our market as well.
Customers of the city markets are also being encouraged to wear a face mask when visiting the markets. The mayor also reminded that food services and restaurants should only be open for delivery and pickup services. Mayor Narain said the city council stands resolute with the government in the combat of COVID-19. He said the city will be abiding by all curfew and other measures as outlined in the national emergency measures announced by government. Well over 200 Guyanese nationals who work on various cruise ships that are now anchored in Florida are making a desperate plea to be allowed to come home. Guyana has closed off its international airports as part of the response to the coronavirus. Only specially authorized flights are being allowed. With coronavirus ravaging through parts of the U.S., cruise lines have suspended operations, leaving those staff members stranded aboard, and the cruise companies wanting to get some of them off. One young man who spoke to News Source and asked not to be identified explained that his ships are anchored out at sea, and the foreign workers are not being allowed to even leave their accommodation on board the vessel in some instances. Some of them have been told that they will only be allowed to leave when the airports in their home country reopen. The cruise ships are willing to pay for the cruise workers to get home. In the courts right now, flamboyant Guyanese-American businessman Marcus Bisram has been committed to stand a high court trial for the murder of carpenter Fayaz Narindat. Magistrate Renita Singh, who was directed by the DPP to reopen the preliminary inquiry, made a decision this morning to commit Bisram to the high court trial. Last week, the same magistrate found that there was not enough evidence to commit Bisram to stand trial in the high court, thereby setting him free. Hours after his release, Bisram was ordered rearrested as the Director of Public Prosecutions became involved in the matter and directed the magistrate to reopen the preliminary inquiry. While reopening the PI, Magistrate Singh said she needed further information and guidance from the office of the DPP. She reportedly received the information and guidance and direction over the weekend, and this morning she reopened the preliminary inquiry and committed Bisram to face the judge and jury in the High Court under direction of the DPP. Bisram was extradited to Guyana from the U.S. last year after he was named as the suspected mastermind of the murder of carpenter Fayaz Narindat. The businessman fought his extradition for several months, but was eventually sent packing to Guyana after losing the appeals in the U.S. Once here in Guyana, he was charged with the murder. A number of other persons have also been charged in connection with the same murder. The carpenter was beaten to death, then crushed by a car after reportedly turning down an advance from Bisram, with Bisram now being committed to a high court trial, he will remain behind bars until the completion of that trial. He's being represented by a number of high-powered attorneys, including Sanjeev Tatadin and Dexter Todd. Attorney Todd has indicated that he intends to move to the court to seek the quashing of the DPP's direction in the case. Across the Region is coming up next.
Wondering how you can access free learning materials for your children? Parents and guardians, please visit the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.gy to access textbooks, past papers, and practice tests to keep your child engaged in continuous learning. When you have accessed the site, go to the Students tab, wait for a second, and choose the appropriate option. You now have access to the resources you need. You are encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity as we strive to provide the best education for the nation's children. A message from the Ministry of Education.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Falls, a trademark of China's Zhanghao Incorporated, located at Land of Cane in East Bank, Demerara, was incorporated in April of 2013 with over $10 billion Guyana dollars invested in a state-of-the-art 100,000 barrel fuel storage facility, a modern service station, an office complex, and a modern wharf that can berth international vessels. Having no association with any other fuel company, Falls imports its own fuel, which meets quality specifications, has all the legal permits, and is in compliance with international requirements. Its bulk facility can load 8 trucks simultaneously at a rate of 1,000 liters per minute, while the service station can service 12 cars at a time using computerized fuel pumps, which can facilitate the use of ATM cards. Through its professional team of mostly Guyanese, Falls wholesales and retails fuels to the public, including farmers and miners, and will continue to positively contribute to Guyana by providing quality products, service, and attractive prices. Try Falls today for all your fuel needs.
The following is an important message from the Ministry of Public Health. When should you use a face mask? A medical mask is not required for members of the public who do not have respiratory illness symptoms. Wear a mask if you are coughing or sneezing constantly. For healthy people, wear a mask only if you are caring for a person suspected to have COVID-19. Masks are only effective when used in combination with frequent hand cleaning with alcohol-based hand rubs, sanitizers, or washing with soap and water. If you wear a mask, dispose of it properly. The Ministry of Public Health has a hotline to provide information on the coronavirus. Members of the public can call 227-4986 or 624-3067.
Across the region right now, 100 Cuban doctors who specialize in intensive care have arrived in Barbados to assist that island in its fight against the coronavirus. The Cubans arrived last evening on 2 special Liat flights and had to face testing for the coronavirus before being allowed to offer full assistance to the Barbadian health officials. Barbados has recorded over 55 confirmed cases of the coronavirus, and the island has stepped up the number of initiatives to combat the spread. The health minister in Barbados has indicated that the Cubans will support Barbadian health workers who have been working grueling hours on the front line of the pandemic. Well, the authorities in Ecuador's most populous city, Guayaquil, say they are handing out 4,000 cardboard coffins amid a shortage of traditional wooden caskets. Forensic services have struggled to cope with the number of people who have died in the city of 3 million since the coronavirus pandemic started, and funeral directors say they have run out of caskets. The official number of those who have died after contracting the virus nationwide stands at 180, but the country's president, Lenin Moreno, has said that the number probably falls short, as only the cases which have been tested positive are included. Guayaquil of Port City has been at the center of the outbreak in Ecuador, and residents say they have had to wait for days for the dead to be picked up. And finally tonight, international news. The daily number of coronavirus deaths has fallen in Spain for a fourth consecutive day, boosting hopes that the country has passed the outbreak's peak. Monday's increase of 637 deaths means that 13,055 persons have died in total in Spain from the coronavirus. The nation has more than 135,000 confirmed cases, the most in Europe, but new infections have been slowing. In Italy, the number of new infections fell by 1,031 to 1,941 on Monday, but the death toll rose to 636, more than 100 higher than the previous day. Slowing infection rates in a number of European countries are raising hope that strict social distancing measures are curbing the spread of COVID-19, the disease caused by the coronavirus. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.